Man, so all the investment experts in the world talk about these diversification strategies, which basically means you should take all of your income on top of what you need as a cash cushion, and you should spread it all around the different asset classes. You should have some in real estate, some stocks, some bonds, some T-bills, and the concept there is kind of cool. It's like you're never going to lose, right? If one goes up, the other goes down. But if you really look at the billionaires of the world, they don't really follow that strategy. The Mark Cubans, the Jeff Bezoses, and the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, they refuse to invest in things that they don't really understand intimately, and they don't believe that they have a competitive and unfair advantage in. So the number one thing that you should be investing in 2024 should be, under the same theory and thesis that all these billionaires have, the one thing that you absolutely have a competitive advantage of and understand in and out. And you should pour all of your extra capital in there because that's where the highest returns will be. I personally have taken hundreds of thousands of dollars out of the stock market and even sold some real estate properties and gone all into my superpower and the one industry that I know the best, which is the damage restoration industry. And I did that from starting a restoration company from my dad's garage to over 8 figures. I started a software company within that space. I also started a mastermind group within the restoration space where a bunch of restoration business owners get together and talk about their issues, and am now launching a media company around the restoration space, and also wrote the book Restoration Billionaire. So I'm heavily focused and laser focused on this one industry that I know better than anybody on Wall Street, that I absolutely love and have a passion for and consider my superpower. And you guys should do the same exact thing. So let's unpack how can you find that superpower first, and then where in the world do you potentially invest into that superpower? Let's dive in. So the first step of finding your superpower is making a list of all of the things that you're good at. So grab a piece of paper. You could even pause this YouTube video right now and make a list of all the things that you're good at. Maybe it's a list of 10 to 20, right? Things that you enjoy, that you're just really good at. The second step is actually ranking those things from easiest to hardest, right? So you want to find the easiest thing as number one and the hardest thing at the bottom, right? There's some things that you may be really good at, but they are hard for you, right? And there's other things that are super easy that you absolutely crush, you love doing, and you're really good at. And then the third step is find that one thing that's truly your superpower. And by superpower, it's something that comes so naturally to you, it almost feels like breathing. And everybody around you are like, how in the world did you do that? Maybe it's the way you cook and chop up vegetables and cook, or maybe it's the way you create stuff using your iPhone camera and your eye for creativity there. Or maybe it's the way you public speak and you're able to market things. Find that one superpower and identify it, and that's going to be the thing that you should be investing all of your extra cash into and just dumping in. Now that you found your superpower, the next important thing is to find out ways that you can invest that cash into that superpower. And investing cash into the superpower comes into 3 categories. So the first category is actually buying back your time. And my mentor, Dan Martell, even wrote an entire book about it. It's super cool. Check it out below. But the concept of buying back your time is you want to buy back all of that time that you're not spending on your superpower and then replace it with time that you're spending on that superpower. So that can come in multiple ways. At home, for example, you might be mowing the lawn, doing the dishes, cooking, and doing all this extra busy work that really doesn't light you up, and really you're not spending on your superpower. So you could actually take some of those funds and invest them into some landscaper that can mow your lawn, maybe a house manager to help keep the house tidy, and so on and so forth. And a lot of people get imposter syndrome where they're like, oh, having a house manager or landscaper is only for the rich. But the reality is it's very affordable for anybody, and it's not selfish. You're actually able to free up that time and focus on that superpower, which in turn will again bring you dividends. If you have a business, for example, it becomes even more powerful. A lot of freelancers and small business owners, let's say a videographer, they're really good at running the camera, but they also have to send out invoices, they have to answer phones, do all scheduling and bookings, right? Hiring an executive assistant or an office admin to be able to replace all those things so that way you can focus on your superpower of running the camera is another example on how you can leverage capital to pour back and buy back your time. So in Dan's book, he actually talks about the buyback formula, which is basically take how much your time is worth. Let's just say you make $100,000 a year for easy math, divided by 50 weeks in a year, because that's how many weeks you're going to work. That's $2,000 a week. Divide that by 40 hours a week. That's $50 an hour. Any hour you're spending doing something that's not worth $50 an hour, you're actually costing yourself money, because you could replace yourself from doing that for like $10, $20, $30 an hour, depending on if it's a virtual assistant or somebody in office. And your ROI is the delta between how much you actually are worth and how much you're replacing yourself for. The second category you should invest in is anything that sharpens the sword and supercharges your superpower. And what I mean by that is any type of course, personal development, any book, any mastermind, any mentor that you could pay for them to teach you how to become even better at your superpower, that's a no-brainer. And again, a lot of times that imposter syndrome kind of gets in our way. Oh, I don't deserve and I shouldn't be spending $5,000 on learning how to use the camera better. That's a waste of money. No, anything that helps supercharge that superpower will pay dividends in the long run. And then the third category is letting the world know about your superpower. Anything you can do to take capital and trade it for publicity in that the world knows that you have that superpower is the best and highest ROI thing that you could possibly do. And you can do that by running social media ads, signing up for different sources like Thumbtack and Angie's List where you can advertise what you do. But it's absolutely incredible and there's direct ROI. And a lot of us, we have a superpower, but nobody knows that we have that superpower. Therefore, nobody's willing to acquire our superpower and transact dollars for that. At the end of the day, your net worth is a direct percentage of the value that you create within the world. And the way you can create maximum value is by focusing and investing heavily on that one superpower that you have. Because it's that one thing that you're super passionate about, you do super well, and it comes incredibly easy for you. And in 2024, if you take all that extra cash and double down into your superpower, I promise you it will return higher than the highest stock market and real estate returns. Because nobody knows your superpower and how to handle it better than you do. If you like this content and want to hear more, please hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, and I'll see you next week with another amazing video.